Welcome to the Hot Mess Cosmic Express, where we talk about the stars, shuffle a few cards, and never pretend to have our shit together. Do you want me to kick it off?
I thought you were.
The silence is like, how long can we go?
I'm looking at you, you're looking at me, and I'm like, I thought she said she was going to take it. I mean,
no, I got this. Ready? Here we go. I got this. All right, guys. Welcome to the Hot Mess Cosmic Express. We're already laughing and having a crazy time. And we're super excited that you guys are here with us today because we are going to be kicking off and talking about our Cosmic Yule Countdown. And it's 13 nights to manifest your best 2026. Now, my co-commander, Tracy, is over here. And she's going to talk. She's a whole lot better at knowing all of this stuff than I am. So we're going to talk today a little bit about Yule. We're going to talk a little bit about, the ritual that goes behind it. The rituals that go along with it, how this all ties into manifesting. And then we're going to have a really great announcement at the end that we hope you guys all stick around to hear. So, Tracy, how you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good. How about yourself?
I'm good. If we're talking about Yule, that means the winter solstice is coming.
Yes.
And with the winter solstice, that means Christmas is right around the corner. And so, like just about everybody else, I'm just like, ah.
Right. This period of time is very hectic because everybody's trying to get ready for Christmas or, whatever. Yeah. Holiday you celebrate, this is always like a busy time for everybody. So yes.
And then you've got the weather and everything else. So it's just been so energetically, it's been I'm ready for things to calm down, and I'm excited for this winter solstice, which is that it's the shortest day of the year basically, and it marks where we get to go to we get to start going back to spring and summer. So that's
right. The days start getting longer. And so it's a celebration that the light is coming back.
It's funny you say that. I haven't done that in forever, but I used to get on like the weather app on Sunday morning. And then I would look at the time that the sun was up, like sunrise to sunset. And then I would look at like Saturday. And then I would post like, we get X amount of minutes of sunlight this week. I did that just a couple of times because it was really kind of fun to be like, just this week, guys, just this week we get this. I was just trying to hold on to anything like positive just to get us out of this, winter slump. So, but yeah, I think like everybody, I'm ready for a change. I think energetically I can kind of sense that either I've been a little bit stagnant or, I know where I've kind of lacked off in a few places, and I'm really ready to kick things off and shift them up a lot. So I'm super excited about having this Yule countdown to really focus on, because what it really does is now that instead of just going, I'm going to sit down and write my wishes, we're talking about it today. We've got some supplies and we're going to talk about all that, but I'm actually putting more energy already into it, right? So I'm already thinking about what kind of goals do I want to manifest in 2026? And just that already starts to get me, it shifts my energy. I'm in a better mood. It changes things quite a bit. So
I'm excited as well. Let's take a step back and let's start with a little bit like just a simple thing of the history and like what it's about. And then, we'll get all into the, like how you do it. Is that okay?
Good idea. Right. Let's do it. Tell us about Yule.
So, it's not just Yule. Different cultures have different names for it. Like there is, I can't remember, I couldn't pronounce it even if I could remember the name of it, but there's a German one that's very close to Yule. And so like, it seems like a lot of different cultures have some kind of celebration around this time of year. But so it's Yule, or most of them start around the 21st of December. And like we were
Okay.
just talking about it, that's the solstice, that's the shortest day of the year, and where the days start to get longer. So way back in the days, that's how it was kind of like, because it's been so dark and cold, it was their celebration to bring them hope that, you know, the days would get better because they were getting longer.
That's because there's more sunlight. Yes, thank God. Yes,
Exactly,
yes,
exactly.
thank
Because
God.
I mean, we're humans and humans run on sunshine. So, I
Yes,
mean,
very much
this
so.
period
Vitamin
of
D,
time where
baby.
it's really dark is very, can be very depressing for us. Even our ancestors have experienced that. So, you have like the 12, you have Yule, you have the 12 days of Christmas.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
so that it's all between this time, between December 21st and January 2nd, 3rd. Some go a little bit longer.
Okay.
In between that, now it fluctuates what day it starts. Like some don't start until Christmas, but then they go until like the 3rd or 4th or 5th
Okay.
of January. So as we're talking about this, if you can't start the ritual on the 21st, don't worry about it. Start it on the 22nd, 23rd, 25th. As long as you start before the new year,
There
you're
you go.
fine. And then whatever days you miss in the beginning, just add it on to the end and you'll go further in January. It's fine. It's crossing that threshold between the old new year and the new year is what brings in that energy that that you want to carry it into 2026.
Right. So the whole point is, even if you don't get a chance to start it until 11 o'clock on December 31st, it's still okay because you're carrying that energy with you over into the next year. But you want to finish your 13 days up, right? You've got to
Exactly.
definitely have to finish it. And I can promise you, we talked about that beforehand. I went back over when we did it last year because we actually, did something very similar last year, Tracy and I did. And so had the opportunity to go back over what I wrote down. And it's really is mind blowing. So, and just honestly for me, Tracy, it was the fact that I actually completed it because there were some nights, no joke, where it was like 10:30 and I'm climbing into bed and it's like, oh shit, I forgot to go do my little thing and think about my wish and burn my wish and do my wishy thing. And I got my butt up and I put my robe on and I went out there in the kitchen, and it may have been a shorter and more condensed version. But instead of letting my Sagittarius rising be like, oh, just go back to
Oh,
sleep,
never
you
mind.
get to do it
Yeah.
in the morning. No, my Virgo was like, get your ass up and do it. So honestly, it was really great because I started the year on a high of completion, right? I started it with like, I already did it. So I was already that boosted. And when we get a chance to talk about our wishes, if we do, yeah, I haven't looked at them exactly to see how many of them what actually happened. But I know when I glance at it, because it's on my board every single day, I know that there's at least six of them that happen. So it's pretty exciting,
Well,
which
on that,
that's 50-50, right? That's
right.
50%.
On that note, let's go ahead, since we went through a little bit of the history. I don't want to go too far into it because, if you really want to know all the history, you can always Google it. So let's go ahead
Yeah.
and get into like what you actually do. Let's get
Yes.
more into like the ritual of it.
Like
So
talking about it. Okay.
the first thing you'll want to do is on a sheet of paper, or I did it in my journal, you'll want to write down 13 practical wishes.
Now,
And we
Tracy,
say,
I'm going to show
okay,
you what I created to write down my 13 practical wishes. Can you see this? So I've got, look
yes,
up at the top. Look, I even changed it. We'll have to put this in the group. I think you can read it. It says so it's Cosmic Yule Countdown, 13 nights to manifest my best 2026. So there's my piece of paper. But let's talk a little bit about achievable goals. Let's talk about what
that's it. I said
grounded goals.
practical. I like achievable better.
Oh,
So achievable
practical,
goals.
realistic. Yeah, I mean, wishes are one thing, right? And the Virgo in me sometimes will stray away from that word. So I always talk about like setting goals and intentions rather than like making wishes. But I'm the one that also walks outside and I'm always like, starlight, star bright, first star I see tonight. I'm always making wishes. Um, but the whole premise on this process is to do things that are reachable and achievable. And there's a specific reason at the end as to why. But the whole point here is to actually make a difference in your life, right? I could really easily write down a wish that I want to look like Britney Spears by the end of 2026. I can write that down. Is that realistic? And no, not without a whole lot of plastic surgery. A whole lot, like, right? So me even putting that down, that's not something that, I can't put any time into, right? So if it's going to be realistic and achievable, you've at least got to be able to put some time in it. I mean, damn, you don't win the Powerball if you don't go buy a ticket, right? Even if that's a
Right.
goal, you still have to do something for it. So if you're not able to realistically put forth any kind of an effort into one of the things that you're going to write down on your sheet, don't write it down on your sheet. It's got to be something that you can realistically be like, all right, I see what that would look like, feel like, taste like, smell like, sound like, whatever word you want to use
Well, just
there.
something that you could actually achieve. Like when you
Yes,
say becoming Britney Spears, that's not really like you said it, without a lot of plastic surgery, money, that's not achievable. But if you say that like you want to take a trip to, wherever, you
bingo.
can you can make that happen
Yes,
because you're going to write down the 13 wishes on you want to have it in a like a either you're actually going to end up doing this twice. You're going to have it on a sheet or your journal because you want to be able to keep track of what comes true and what doesn't come true, or
we
like
call
what
it
doesn't
like
manifest.
your master list. So can I show
Yes.
do you mind if I show everybody like mine from last year?
No, go ahead.
Okay, so keep in mind, guys, last year we were not the hot mess Cosmic Express. Last year we actually, Tracy and I were on, oh my gosh, number two's coming true. Holy shit, I just looked. Oh my God, this is so amazing. Okay, so anyway, so I put it up here. It's just my 12 magical nights of Yule. And you can see I did such fancy artwork there. But there you can see, so I did a trip to Scotland with Tina. These are the things that I wanted. And you don't have to share them with everybody, but then I did them back here on the back. There's my 13. So those were mine that I did and how I wrote them down. And you mentioned it being like a master list. I even laminated this. And then this has been sitting on my bulletin board that I look at anytime I'm in my office. So I'm either looking at this side of it or I'm looking at the back side of it, one of it. And it's always there, just again, trying to kind of manifest it. So yeah, you do want to have like at least some place to write it down that you're going to keep it and have a chance to look at on a regular basis.
And see, mine's in my journal. I just did
Oh yeah.
the 13 here, and then we'll get into this more in a minute.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
you'll want to write down your 13 wishes in your master list. Then you're going to write them again on a piece of paper that you can cut up into strips.
I have here, Tracy, look, I have strips of paper already cut up.
Look
Uh-huh.
at
So
that.
I'm going to write one of my wishes. So I'm just going to write just to give I'm not actually doing mine here, but I'm going to write down on this, my wish on a piece of paper. So I've got my wish on my master list. Now I'm taking my wish and I wrote it down on a piece of paper. And now what am I going to do next?
You're going to fold it away from you.
Oh, fold it away from, so I'm
Yep,
looking
fold
away
it
from
away
me.
from you.
I'm
And
going to
just
fold
keep
it.
folding it until you can't, like it's small and that you can't read it.
Okay, because we don't want to be able to read what's on the paper. That is very
Correct.
important. You don't want to use any special markers or any special folding techniques so that you can mark any single piece of paper. Okay, so this paper, I mean, I could really fold it a little bit smaller maybe. Okay, so there we go. So now my wish is this teeny weeny itty bitty piece of paper. So now what do
So
I do?
then you're going to need some kind of container. It can be any container you want, glass, You know, it's just something to hold your wishes until you're ready to do the next
And it
one.
doesn't have to be anything fancy. Look, I even whipped this out. This is a lightning bug jar from my garage. It can be as simple as this, right? Last year I used a Velveeta cheese jar and I can't find that jar or else I would be using it. Obviously, I have been clean and
And it
sanitized.
doesn't even have to be a jar. It can be like, I mean, it doesn't have to have a lid. You just want
Right.
somewhere to keep
Keep them
all your
safe.
papers together for, especially if you're starting now, because we're not going to start this until December 21st. So Sunday, you're going to have a
Right.
couple days that you don't want to lose your paper
Got it.
until we're ready.
All right.
So,
So I'm going to put my paper in my jar. Now let's
yep.
pretend that all my other papers are in my jar. All right. So I'm just
So
putting
we
my
have,
jar up. So all
yep,
13 of
are
my
in the jar.
wishes. We do call this 13, was it 13 wishes, 13 nights? But yeah, so they're okay. So they are all in the jar now. Okay, so there we go. What
Okay.
is next?
So then let's fast forward to December.
Hang on, I
Fast
wish I could
forward
talk really fast.
to
Yeah, sorry.
December
Okay,
21st. So
got
now
it.
it's December 21st. You're going to take your jar and pick one wish. You're not going to open it. You're not going to read it. You're just going to take the wish.
Hang on, let me hope I don't get my finger stuck in this jar. Okay, so I've got my wish.
All right.
I'm not
So,
looking at it. That's cheating. And I'm gonna put the lid back on my jar, and I'm putting my
yeah,
jar right back where I got it from. That's it. That's all you're
yeah,
doing with the jar, guys.
because
All
we're
right.
going to repeat this process for 13 nights.
Yep.
So what you're on the night that on December 21st or the day that you start, you're going to need your wish, something to burn it in that's safe. I
A
have my
fireproof
cauldron.
container or an ashtray. Tracy has a
Yep.
cauldron. Um, you can do it over your sink, but
Yep.
please practice fire safety. Have a fire extinguisher. You know, I have accidentally dropped things on my concrete back porch before and like thought, shit, I'm glad that wasn't in the house. So do that safely. So you've got your jar of wishes, right? We've got our jar of wishes. We've got our fireproof container. We obviously need some sort of fire, so you're going to need a
Right.
lighter or matches, right?
Right.
Um, those are the basics, right? So
Right.
jar, lighter, that you can make it a little more fancy if you want and have like a candle. If you want to like light a candle, you can make it very ritualistic if you
Right.
really want to.
That's
But
usually what I do. I usually have a candle. Like I usually don't use a lighter. I have a candle burning, so that's my light source.
yep.
And then
Unless
I'll have
you can burn fire, not everybody can burn fire. So this, oh, you can't really see it, but this is like one
oh
of those
yeah,
disco
it changes
candles.
color.
It changes colors. Now, again, it's not a fire, but if I still want to burn it, it makes me happy. It creates a mood, right? So you don't
Right.
have to, again, if you don't have the ability to burn fire where you're at, there are options. The universe is okay with that.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
So you create your little mood for
Yep.
your little nightly ritual that you're going to do. You can use candle, music, whatever. You can just sit there in silence and think about what you've wrote down, because you're not going to know which one you're burning. You've picked up one at random. So you can sit there, meditate, think about all the wishes that you wrote down, and when you're
That's really
ready.
good because here's the thing. This is the important part. So we wrote down 13 wishes. Like Tracy said, over the course of 13 nights, you are going to, without peeking, pull one out and burn it. And by burning it, you are energetically releasing it to the universe. So what I'm holding in my hand could be any one of my 13 wishes. So going over in my mind, okay, that's why having your master list is a good
Yes.
idea, to just kind of look at them and be like, all right, this one could be that or it could be that, or I mean, just to give a little bit of energy to that, what it could be, you really don't know. And that's all you really need to do. If
Right.
you want to sit down and meditate and visualize every one of your wishes to raise that energy, go ahead. It will boost your efforts, right? but it can be
Right.
very,
It can
very
be
simple.
simple
So,
or complicated as much as you want it to be. Like if you want to turn it into a ritual, have at it. If you just want to sit that down, take a second, think about it, burn it, that works too. It's all about keeping it so that you actually complete all 13.
yeah, the basics are complete it, write them down, hide what you're doing when you're burning it, because that's our next step here, and finish the process, and you'll be absolutely amazed. That's all you have to do. So
Yeah.
I have all my supplies. I have reached my hand into the jar. Without looking, I have picked one of my wishes. Now I'm guessing, and I've thought about it. I've meditated on it. Now what do I do with it, Tracy?
You're going to burn it. Now,
Okay.
this I
Now,
just found out, and I thought it was a good idea. I saw this on TikTok last night. When you're burning your wish, you can keep the ash. And I'm going to do mine all in the same little cauldron, so mine will be all together. But then if you practice the craft and want to use that ash in another ritual, you have all your wishes energy in that ash. So you can make a spell jar or use it in another spell.
oh,
But
you
I just
could
thought that was a
smudge
little
things
bit,
with it. You
that's
could take
totally,
that.
yes. Go sprinkle it somewhere. There's all kinds of things that
Yes.
you can do with the ash. But anyways, getting back to this ritual, you're going to burn this, and
So I'm
then
not going to burn mine because it'll probably set off my smoke alarm. So we're going to pretend that there's fire there. Oh, there it goes. Whew, there it went. Did you see how quickly that went up? It's that fast burning paper.
that was the quickest burn of a wish I've ever
Well,
seen.
I buy that fast burning paper for a reason. So fast,
This is
magical.
another optional thing that you can do. So along with burning your wish, if you are into tarot or oracle cards,
This is my favorite part.
you can pull one of those cards every night that you burn a wish. And
Yes.
what that does, when you're pulling it for that month. Like, so the first card or the first wish we do is for January. It doesn't mean that that wish will come true in January, but we're going to go do all of the months. So
As
you're
far
going
as
to
the tarot
do,
card goes, we're gonna really just be like, because I pull a tarot and an oracle because I wanted to see. I had never done this before last year, and I thought I want to
ooh,
see what the difference is. And it's really, here's what's really screwed up is that when I pulled the cards, the ones from my Moonology manifestation deck, which I'm going to do again this year, I did one of these. And then, like I'll do, what guidance do I need most for January 2026? Flip over my
yeah,
card, write it. Same thing with my tarot. What guidance do I need most for January 2026? They are so in line with each other. It's insane. Like one of them I had was like for example, for March. Now I had them listed here, but for March, my oracle card was be open to change, and my tarot card was the Page of Cups. I'm like, this is, I mean, so it's all about like taking emotional risks. Is that Page of Cups and being open to change. So for me personally, I had a lot of fun pulling just a traditional tarot and then throwing in one from my Moonology manifestation deck. So you can really use whichever ones, but like here on this form, like I went ahead, I wrote up there, January, February, March, April, and it's just really neat to see what you're getting. So every night after I burn my wish, I'm going to pull a card. So I'm going to be like, what guidance do I need to know most for January? And I'm going to pull, pow, clear your mind. So,
that's a good
okay.
one for
All
January.
right. I
So you're
think that's
starting off
not
the
yet.
year. You need clear thoughts.
You do need clear thoughts, right? Especially if you're manifesting, because you've got to be really careful about negativity. A really great way to keep your mind clear is gratitude practicing. It really is a great way to do it. So now I'm going to do my tarot. What guidance do I need most for January 2026? Normally, if I was doing this on my own, I would be like spreading them out. I do a little bit more of a ritual for the card pull for this. But let's see, this guy's popping up here. Oh, interesting. So that's the Three of Pentacles. That's about teamwork. It can also be about if you're meeting with legal matters. It can be about having a mentor, but it can be about also about talking to someone. It can be about going to see a therapist too, right? So you've seen two people there meeting with another person who seems to be a little bit higher up. So maybe clearing my mind is finding somebody to go talk to about some problems I've got. Maybe, yeah. So there's just some correlation there, I think, to having those two cards there. I think it just, I don't know, to me, it adds a little bit more to the story. And when I look back on last year, I'm like, oh, this is so, I'm like so excited to do this again.
But that just proves that you can add stuff, or like, you wanted to add doing the tarot and oracle card, which is
Oh,
perfect.
totally.
But if there's somebody that doesn't want to do the tarot or oracle, they don't want to do that stuff, you don't have to.
No. And
You
if you
can
don't have cards,
customize it.
you can do an app, you can just
Yep.
simply think, what do I need? But like you said, here's a fun thing. Just grab 12 fortune cookies and open each board. But you don't really, it's like I've always said, and will always say, the universe really doesn't care. I mean, it does, but as long as you're clear with your intentions and you're consistent, right? It's okay. If you don't get it just right, the universe understands. We're all just doing our best. So as long as you feel like at the end of the day, you gave it your all and you did what you needed to do, then that's all that matters,
I agree. I
right?
agree.
So I've pulled my card. So I pulled my wish, put my jar away. I focused on my wish for a minute, looked at my list of 13 wishes, wondering, not sure what this could be, but let me think through all of those. Burnt it, sat down, asked, what guidance do I need most for this month? And we're doing, every night corresponds to a different month of the year. Okay.
Right.
So that's 12. So, Tracy, what happens on what happens when I look down and I only have one wish left in my jar? It is night 13. There is just one left. What happens then?
That's the fun one. That's the one you get to open. You get to read it, but then you are responsible for making that one come true. That's why it's very important that those wishes that you write down are achievable, because you will be responsible for one of them.
Yep, yep, yep.
So
And
if you
that's
wanted to become Britney Spears and you wrote that down and that's the one you got, well, good luck with that.
yeah, yeah. And that is, I remember you talking us through that last year and me thinking, okay, these have to be literally, if I open that last wish on that 13th night and it's any one of these, I'm like, man, this is going to be, it's going to be really, really interesting.
So yeah, as you're writing those 13 wishes, just keep in the back of your mind that this could be the one that you get, that you're responsible. The other 12 you've released into the universe.
That's
So
right.
if it's meant for you, the universe will bring it back to you and complete it. And if it doesn't come true, maybe it wasn't the time. Maybe it wasn't, that wasn't really what's meant for you, or like it's not the right time for it, it's coming later, you never know. But the one that you open is the one that you need to focus on making come true for 2026.
So honestly, so what you're telling me is I just have to have one goal to focus on
Yeah,
for the whole year. What a fucking relief is that, right? And I love, that's the other thing I love, is instead of being like, oh man, I really want to do that this year. Like I wrote down everything, oh, I really want to do this year. But then knowing that, you know what? 12 of those things went out. I had one to complete last year, and I'll be damned. I did it. I circled it. I did it. It was number one, and I did it. I did it. And you just have no idea the sense of accomplishment. And then to know that most of these things happened without me really doing anything at all. And
exactly.
they
They
just
just
happened.
it's fun to look back. That's why the master list is really important. It's fun to
Yeah.
look back and see, like, so
Oh, but I
I
didn't do some
actually
of
did
these. Ooh.
mine. I did mine in 2023, is when I actually did this for the first time. And so that's this list. And I've gone through, I don't know if you can see it, but there's like marks, red marks. I put dates like
Oh,
when, okay, this came true, this came true. And there are
oh, I
some on
like
here
it.
that didn't come true. But
Well,
now that I'm looking back at it, I'm no longer interested in those things.
okay, I was going to say because it's really interesting. I keep because I immediately said, "Oh, well, I didn't do that this year." Like one of them I had on here was, to finally, finish my book, and I'm like, "Oh, I didn't do that this year. I have to stop. That wasn't for me to do this year. If it was
Exactly.
meant for me to happen if it was meant to happen this year, somebody would have contacted me out of the blue, and it fucking would have happened." But my one thing I had to do this year was number 13 on my list, and that was number one. And so what's cool is I only had to work on one and I did it. So I'm like, girl boss, love it. But some of these that didn't happen, I can carry over to this year because they really, if they still resonate, right? If
Right.
there's still ones, like you said, going back through your list, you may not even be in that place anymore in your life where that's even a thing. But it's really interesting to look and see because then I start thinking is okay, do I really want the chance of that being number 13 this year? Do I really really because that's why I left it up like this because I knew that number one was the one that I circled really big and put me and a big heart and hearts all over it and it was to have enough money and income to pay my bills with enough left over for fun and I quadrupled my salary. So
There you go. There you
I think
go.
I nailed that one and it was hard work. Did somebody just offer? No, I had to I mean, there was a lot of work and a
Yes.
lot of manifesting, lots of green candles, lots of green pens, lots of green underwear. I mean, green fingernails, green everything. Um, but I really like that looking at this and being like, I don't have to say, oh, I didn't do that. No, that wasn't my thing to do. I
Right.
just had to do number one. Wow, it's nice when somebody takes shit off your list, right?
Exactly, exactly. So like I had mentioned that I first did this in 2023. So last year when we did it in 2024, I wasn't feeling it.
Right. I remember we talked about
Something
that.
it didn't feel right. So I tried a couple other things and I tried doing it at a different time. I tried doing a bingo card instead.
That sounds
And
like
I
fun
have to
still.
say that looking at the two, a lot more came through on the 2023 list with the Magical Nights than trying to do something else. So that's why I'm doing the Magical Nights this year because I want to get that feeling back. I want to do the rituals to get that energy going again so that I can get some of the stuff off my list. But
Yep.
one of the things that I had on my list, I wanted to learn about herbs and get into studying herbs. I'm not really into that anymore. I have enough people around me that know
Yep.
that
Yep.
I have, if I really needed something, I can go to them. I've started to learn that it's okay if I don't know everything because as a Virgo, I think I should. Between that and my
Yep.
Gemini moon, I mean, I
Yep.
want to know everything, and I'm starting to realize that I don't have to because I have people and resources that if I need that information, I can go to. So
Yep.
that was one of the things that didn't come true, and now I'm like, yeah, because I'm not into it anymore.
There you
So
go. Yeah, like you said, you're just not always in that place. And it's just, I think we talk about, I mean, we're the hot mess cosmic express, right? Where life is a hot mess. And how many of us haven't sat there at the end of, I don't want to set New Year's resolutions because you don't know where the last year went, right? It flew by you and without goals, without achieving and just having that sense. And, we only get one trip around this, around in this experience. So being able to just I mean, I'm ending this year with I'm a badass note. If I had, so my favorite, my badass card, it's my Drew Barrymore badass. I think Drew Barrymore is a badass, but it's the Nine of Pentacles. So I'm feeling very Nine of Pentacles. Like I feel super accomplished. And just to tell you that feeling is, and I was telling Kenny about it, and he's kind of bummed because he bailed out that night when we were in bed. And I was like, I'm going to get up and do my wishes. He's like, oh, I'll just leave my jar out and I'll do it tomorrow. He never touched it again. And I'm like, it's just, I can see what happened in my life. And now it makes me feel like it wasn't all just wasted. Right. And like I actually had accomplished something and I had purpose, and that just boosts my manifesting again with the law of attraction. So,
Well, it takes it up and down. Like your normal New Year's resolutions, most people don't think about it until, New Year's Eve night. You're trying to figure
yeah,
out what your resolution is going to be. Most people don't take the time to put, the thought and intention into it. And then by like what, January 5th, you're done.
yeah.
It's really quick to come and go.
Statistics say so February 14th is the I think that's the 7 week mark of, which is actually right at the last quarter moon after you set your New Year's resolutions. Whole nother story, but that is where like if you're going to go get a new gym membership, always go after Valentine's Day, because everybody that has started by February 14th, they've lost it. It's completely gone.
Yeah.
So it's over. So, and
Exactly.
it takes
So
21
this
days.
gives you, like, we're prepping it up now. So we have all of this time to put intention into it. Plus, you got Friday, that's the new moon. So you can
Yep.
add a little bit of extra oomph to it by putting intention, starting, the intention on the new moon. So, I
Yep.
mean, there's all this energy that's going on during this period of time between December 21st and the new year to put all this intention into it to make all of this come true.
You're right. And that's a really good point too. It's the new moon in Sagittarius on Friday night. And so because we're actually making wishes and setting intentions with this Yule, they don't directly coincide, but you get an amazing cosmic boost there, even just by having your wishes written down, or at least being, starting to think now about seriously what you're going to bring into existence in 2026. If you can really do more of that, focusing on that list, whether it's mentally or physically, if you've already written it out, on the new moon just helps to boost things. I mean, everything you do between now and you listen to this podcast and get juiced up about writing your list so you can manifest your best 2026, and we kick this off, you are just doing nothing but scoring brownie points on the law of attraction. So
Exactly.
and pay attention to the signs too. As you start to do this, if you write something down, and then we've got this little bitty window and something just doesn't feel up right, like you didn't write the wording right, go back and redo it. This is your master list. This is you saying these are the things that either I'm going to accomplish one of these, or the universe is going to bring me as many of these in the upcoming year that are right for me in this right time. Right?
Exactly. And that's what's important. What's right for you, not, just because it's written down doesn't mean it will come true. Because like my herbs, maybe it's just something you're not going to be into anymore.
Well, yeah. Well, and like here, I had written down that I had a set amount that I wanted to make each month in my professional tarot, moon, and astrology business. But, and the goal with that was because I thought that would be, how I was going to make all of my income. But when number one supersedes it, and I quadrupled my salary and ended up going back into corporate America, that's unrealistic that I would be able to put the kind of time in that was needed to make that set minimum amount. So that one didn't happen. But in that time, this is not right for me. I'm sure as shit that I hit that goal and well over exceeded it before June when I got my big girl job. But the whole time I was doing that, I was still manifesting this big one up here. And so one had
we didn't have this podcast either. We had the other podcast. So
we did. And I had written down that I wanted our podcast to gain national recognition. So I know a whole bunch of people and subscribers and stuff out there who better start sharing our shit. Because that one I think is seriously going to have to go down for 2026, because this is just, we're just a hot fucking mess. And I think I have a message to give to the world. So people better start sharing our stuff. So, yeah, but and you're right. We didn't even do this last year. We had a totally different avenue for kind of getting our word out there, didn't we?
Exactly.
And I'm super excited because I didn't realize that number 2 on my list was a trip to Scotland with Tina. And, I'll be damned. I didn't do it. I say I didn't do anything. It's not like it gifted, but I just got a wild hair up my ass one day and booked
And
it
you
all.
booked it.
Booked it all.
I
Yeah, right
remember
before
you.
her 50th birthday. Yeah, I was like, I'm doing it. And it was, but I didn't plan it. I didn't, and so just like that, it just, all of a sudden I'm like, you know what? The timing is, it's now, it's right. I've missed opportunities before, and I thought, you know what, I only get one chance. I am not going to miss these chances again. And so that one right there, yeah, we're going to Scotland May 15th through the 25th of next year. So already got it all booked.
That's awesome. That's
So anyway,
awesome.
but back to what we were talking about with the new moon in Sagittarius, guys. Travel plans, I'm always a big one for you. You got to get away from home to shift your energy a little bit. But Sagittarius is all about travel, international culture, bigger picture stuff. So making sure to include at least something somewhere where you're giving yourself a break. And actually, on that point, Tracy, in our Facebook group, we're going to post a few prompts to help people come up with a few good, achievable, and realistic goals. Things like what bothers you every day? What habit do you have that every day you think you need to get rid of? And so we've got quite a few other like prompts that we'll be posting here over the next couple of days. Just if anybody needs some ideas on what kind of things to manifest, because the whole point is we want to have that list ready to go before December the 21st.
And actually, that's a good thing to bring up and just talk about a few. What are some, like you've talked about your trip, what are some of the more, just in case somebody's not able to, afford a trip or travel, or what are some other, like the more mundane things that you had on your list that like anybody could achieve if that was on their list, just to give some people some ideas?
Good physical health and limitless energy. That's the simple one. More water, take my vitamins. I take vitamins. I take 12 vitamins every day and have religiously for years. So that's that. A good health is always one that somebody can do. Get something organized, right? There's some area or some spot in your house that is considered, every time you walk by it, you sigh or you think about it. Write it down. That is sucking your energy away.
Yes.
So it doesn't, you can just, they're just little, or what's one thing that you could, so when we think about achieving our goals, for example, we've got this podcast, not that the podcast was my goal, but at least helping people on a bigger, and I don't understand why, but helping people on that bigger level is kind of what I'm driven to do. Hang on, I just totally lost my train of thought. No, I totally lost my train of thought. Help me.
You're talking about organizing and
what's one thing you want to do? Sorry, thank you. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much. Whew, it's so much easier when you're on here with me. So what could I do? Well, what's one thing that if I really want my podcast, so I'm looking at this, right? So y'all can go through this mindset with me because I'm putting that back on the list again. But if that ends up being number 13, what am I going to do? I'm going to subscribe to a whole bunch of YouTube channels. I'm going to commit to engaging with other astrologers on YouTube. Like you can kind of have non-monetary goals in line there, but what's a skill that you need to develop? Do you need to learn how to talk straight to a camera without looking at cue cards? Do you need to learn how to sit in a meeting and not blow up at everybody and maybe sit back a little more quietly? Do you need to learn a new body language? Did somebody say you've got resting bitch face and that's bothering you? What can you do to remind yourself to smile more? Just little things. It can be big things.
Right. And it can be a combination of things.
Yes,
it can be big, small, but yeah, it doesn't have to be, a trip to Scotland.
You have to be able to see how you're going to put in the work.
Yes.
When I said good physical health and limitless energy, I know that I'm going to have to exercise and take all my vitamins and go for checkups and drink everybody hydrate. Hang on, right there it is.
That's a good idea. Hydrate break.
Hydrate break. Drink my water. So before I wrote it down, that's again, and that's not one that you have to do that matters with any money. And I tell you, you never have to spend a whole lot of money to get away. somewhere within at least a 10-mile radius of almost where everybody listening to this is a park with a stream or a picnic table and some trees and some grass. You can simply write down a goal that once a month you're going to treat yourself to some nature, right? You're going to let yourself, if you can't travel, you can travel emotionally. You can let yourself go to your favorite nature spot, and you put this on the calendar and you make a commitment. That's always a great way to kind of bring yourself back to what you're trying to manifest for the year, right? Maybe you've got your list, and you decide that once a month I'm going to go sit on my favorite park bench while I eat my Smucker's Uncrustable, and I'm just going to look at my list and think, okay, when's that next one going to come true? Because you already know which one you're working on, but you never know when the next ones are going to happen. And the more you look at this list, the more you focus your energy on this list, the more that these things just happen.
I agree.
Badass.
Those were great examples too.
Thanks. Yeah, it was. You kind of put me on the spot there, but I think I pulled it off. I'm like, oh my god, what am I going to say?
No, I was trying to get, and you did it perfectly, but trying to think of because not everybody can afford to take a trip.
Yeah, and I will say that it's not this whole thing with this has been, and I am Grouponing the fuck out of it. But again, I had to figure out if I really got stuck with that, how am I going to pull that off? So,
and it can even be say you really do want to take a trip to Scotland or somewhere, that would cost a lot of money. Maybe this is the year that you do the research to find out what things you want to do when you're over there. That doesn't cost any money. Or this is where you start. I want to start saving for this trip. Yep. There's other things that you can do that don't cost money that can get you to the goal that you're looking to do.
You can vision board it. You can actually, that's what I've been doing in the last 2 years, is just because I'll be honest, you can go to the Goodwill and there are the magazine rack. For whatever reason, people must have had a run on Scotland, because there's just Scotland after Scotland after Scotland magazines. And I've just been grabbing those up. So there's a lot, and I know that that's $1.99 there, but you can even just honestly, just if you're on your phone, screenshot things, right? And make a Pinterest board. That's totally free. Just little things. I went, oh my gosh, it's been at least a year ago, but I found a hair dryer that had an international connection on it. I bought that, and that's in my Scotland box, right? So,
so you're already getting supplies ready.
Yes, I have known that this was I have been, and so even though it's only on my list this year, and now it's going to happen in 2026, I've been manifesting this probably hardcore since 2022. So to your point, it's been on my lists before, but no money, don't have the resources. But I've been where I've had little bits here and there. I'll buy a Scotland magazine, or I've screenshotted something Scotland. I've got the Scotland flag out in my garage. Little bitty things I've collected where it's oh, and when I go to Scotland, all my stuff I need, all my little travel stuff that I get when I go to hotels, it's all been going in that box because I'm going to need that when I go to Scotland. So those are just little things you can do to help manifest it along the way. So
because you're putting that intent, you're putting that it's going to happen. I'm buying the stuff, or I'm doing this because it's already happening. That's what attracts.
Yes, I'm going to use this when I go to Scotland. Oh, I'm going to wear this when I go to Scotland. It's not if, it's when. And by just changing that, and by just doing, I mean, you can doodle the word Scotland. You don't have to spend any money. You can just focus on this, or just on your phone, come up with Scottish music, anything. Every time you do that, you just throw more and more into it. So, like I said, the fact that it's on this list and it's coming true, it's awesome that I actually documented it. But when I look back, I'm I've been manifesting it since about 2022. So it's taken about 4 years. That's another thing, is that just because it's not going to happen on your list this year does not mean that you're just not ready for it sometimes. So it's got to be just right. So we have covered a whole lot of stuff, but I said we had something really exciting at the end, but I wanted to talk about how we're going to kick all this off. Right?
That's where I was going. You read my mind.
Go, girl. You go, girl.
So, on December 21st, so this Sunday at 7 p.m., we are going live in our Facebook group to do the first night of the 13 magical nights
I can't remember what it's called. We're so
The Cosmic Yule Countdown is what we kept changing it because there's so many cultures that do things with this. We were seeing 12 magical nights, 13 magical nights, 12 days of Yule, 12 days of people have all kinds of different names for it. So ours is called the Cosmic Yule Countdown.
Yep. 13 nights to manifest your best 2026. And I'm really excited because we've never done a live before, so technology is going to be so much fun. But I'm excited because we don't personally I'm not going to share my wishes with everybody. It's private. I shared some of them from here, because we're out there into the world, and I don't mind sharing some of them. I'm not going to share all of them with everybody. So don't feel like you have to pour everything out to everybody. But Tracy and I are just going to walk everybody through, what our first night is of the ritual. I've got some winter solstice tea I'm going to brew. I'm really excited for. And we'll also answer questions, right? Obviously, we want to stay focused on the Yule and the countdown and the manifesting part of it, but open to questions that you guys have as you're doing this ritual. If you're wondering what manifesting is all about, or if there's a right way to do things, we're definitely going to be there to support everybody. So I hope we get to see everybody there. I'm excited.
Plus, it's everybody, if we get a whole bunch of people, online with us, and we're all doing this at the same time, the energy level, the vibration goes up. And so what a great way to kick it all off is all of us having this great energy that our wishes are going to come true for 2020.
Yes, this is a collective. It's a collective manifest. Ooh, there's got to be a big word there. Like, join us for our collective manifestation, energy raising something to something. Sounds catchy.
But definitely, if you are not already in our Facebook group, go over there. It's the Hot Mess Cosmic Express. Join the group. It's free to join.
Totally
Your birth chart, we'll get you your birth chart because that's your ticket to get in, is we give you your birth chart. And then look for our posts. We're going to be posting like reminders, supply lists, different things throughout the rest of the week to make sure you guys are on track to do this on Sunday.
Yep. And if anybody's got questions between now and then, that's great. Otherwise, we will be we'll be live at 7:00 in the Facebook group. So just make sure you're on there, and then bring your list, bring your goodies, and you'll get to see us and do a little bit of manifesting as a collective group. I'm super excited. So December 21st, 7 p.m. Facebook group, Hot Mess Cosmic Express, right?
Yes.
The Hot Mess Cosmic Express. Yep. So, okay. All right. Awesome. So I think we're going to wrap this up then.
Yep. Everybody have a great night.
Have a good one, guys. Bye.